Crypto Eddie, him and Bombshell, Ripple, Binance, John Deaton, illiterate.
I think the timeline will be long. And John, you could speak more to this. Just from the
Shout out to Eleanor Terrett. If you're not following her on Twitter, she drops that heat. Let's go.
Legal standpoint, but I do think that people are going to drag this out. And by people, I think, the SEC, I don't think the government necessarily wants to lose to the people and lose to this cause that they're not on board with. Obviously, Gary Gensler has made it very clear that he's going after crypto. He wants to make his name on cracking down on crypto, being the chairman that got it under regulation, got it to come into compliance. So when these companies push back, they have.
Why did Jay Clayton meet up with Gary Gensler a few days right before he walked out of office? You tell me.
They could have all the money in the world, but at the end of the day, you're fighting the government as well. So, I think it's going to be a long process. I think Ripple will be the first step in that. And then you'll see Coinbase, you'll see Grayscale, Binance now. Like, you've got so many companies and so many big names coming out and people are supporting them. It's hard to fight the government. Right, John?
Talking about calendars, Clayton dropped this suit against Ripple and his last day as he's walking out the door. But guess who he met the day before, Scott, to talk about? He met with Gary Gensler.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so
because you're not
we can say it's Clayton, but it's Gensler, right? You don't
I'm just saying,
a bomb on your predecessor, on the next guy coming in without briefing him and making sure he's cool.
Exactly. You said it perfectly in that scenario. And, here's the thing is that even if the Ripple case itself, this judge's ruling, legally, it's just one federal district judge. It's not an appellate court. It has limited, precedential value and all of that. Even a fellow Southern District New York judge.
They've been grooming Gary Gensler for a long time.
The train has left the station.
What did you just say? I only asked because it just sounds like real familiar.
About cryptocurrency as a form of currency.
Well, I think the train's already left the station in terms of.
So I repeat, what did you just say?
The train has left the station.
That's what I thought.
We on location. I remember way back. You ain't have no swag. You did a little research. Now you got a moon bag. Now you got a new walk. Now you got new swag. You did a little research. Now you got a moon bag. Well, let me show you what the moon bag's like. You take them gains when it gets that high. I mean, the market may dip for a little bit. That's when I hurry up and buy. Me, I just want to rub them thighs. I like my oatmeal chunky. Banana nuts all in it. Shit, you're talking about the blockchain monkeys. It's a solo nation.
Now, when it comes to crypto, we're talking about cold storage. Get your crypto off the exchange and into a cold storage wallet to where only you have access. Okay? DCENT wallet link in the description. Now, what is going on, blockchain monkeys? Igor here. I want to thank you for coming to my jungle. First of all, I'm no financial advisor whatsoever, nor am I professional in blockchain technology. But there is one thing that I absolutely will do, and that's give my opinion. So today, we're going to go around the rosy. So much happening in the crypto space. But before we even get started, we got to put them hands together. River vigorously. Sliding on Twitter. Now, started. I want to give a huge shout out to Barry C. and James Rowe XRP. They have a morning show every day on Twitter Spaces. You might want to get in there and check it out. Their up-to-date news is absolutely amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, they both have YouTube channels. So if you're not following them on Twitter, head on over to YouTube. As a matter of fact, why don't you just do both? Now, before we can even get started, I'm going to need you to rub them hands together again. River vigorously. Slide on Twitter. And coming in hot from the reckoning, you might want to check him out because he's building a line of t-shirts that is simply amazing. Like, it's like, I'm talking about Niagara Falls amazing, okay? Now, come over here. He says right here, you know what really grinds my gears? Stuart Alderati, now he just drops the heat, okay? So what should happen now? First, remove the speech immediately from the SEC website. An investigation must be conducted to understand what or who influenced Hinman. Why conflicts, or at the very least, appearances of conflicts were ignored, and why the SEC touted the speech, knowing that it would create greater confusion. Now, this is called the Clamming Countdown. Take a look at what they're honing in on.
Is the future of crypto not here anymore? In fact, is it going across the pond?
And they really know how to sell a story, don't they?
Its first international office in London to be the home base for its new crypto accelerator program.
Look at the heading.
VC firm's move comes after
Gary Gensler is turning the U.S. into a technology wasteland. Tim Draper.
These violated the law by, among other things, operating as securities exchanges without registering their businesses with the SEC. SEC Chair Gary Gensler excoriated the crypto industry at the Piper Sandler Global Exchange and FinTech conference last week, saying, quote, "We've seen this story before. It's reminiscent of what we had in the 1920s before the federal securities laws were put in place. Hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes. The public left in line at
He's naming exactly what he is.
bankruptcy court." So what does one of crypto's biggest bulls think of SEC Chair Gensler's outcries? Here in a Fox Business exclusive, billionaire venture capital royalty.
Bust his ass, Tim.
Its founder, Tim Draper. Hucksters, scam artists. I mean, it's like that scene in Woody Allen's Bananas where the cop gets up on onto the witness stand and says, he's a New York commie intellectual bad apple, but I don't want to cast no aspersions or nothing. What do you make of his comments here?
You know, weak regulators spread fear.
Look at him.
Spread fear. And
These characters, man.
We've got a real problem because the SEC has been spreading fear, and all of the innovators are leaving the country. And there's a huge problem we have. This regulation by enforcement makes no sense. We want the great technologies to stay in the US, and they're all going to Dubai and Singapore and Northern Europe and South America and all over the world, and that they're all saying, oh, it's all about the Howey test. The Howey test was 80 years ago, and it has no relevance to crypto. I think crypto needs to be regulated in a new way, from a new group. And I mean, what's America going to look like in 40 years? It's going to be a total wasteland of there's going to be no technology.
Sheesh.
Look, crypto is coming. AI is coming. What is this spreading fear about these new technologies? They're great for us. I mean, new technologies. We got smartphones. We got Teslas. We got all these amazing new technologies. We have the internet. All these things happened because the regulators had a light touch.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Draper. Now, coming in hot from Meta Lawman, breaking SEC versus Binance hearing. The judge does not enter SEC's request asset freeze order. Judge encourages parties to try to come to an agreed compromise order and report back on Thursday. The judge apparently caught on to that. There was no actual emergency. I am told the judge pressured the SEC lawyers on whether they had any actual evidence of Binance U.S. customers' assets being moved overseas. Now, this is coming in hot from Eleanor Terrett. All Republicans on the House Financial Services Committee today sent a letter to the SEC demanding it rescind its proposed rulemaking regarding the definition of an exchange, saying it exceeds the agency's statutory authority. They are continually trying to break through barriers where they do not belong. So let's take a look at this. We got Mr. Man, State Information Services Digital Transformation, SIS, Egypt's orientation towards digital transformation. You might want to take a listen. So it says here, keeping pace with Egypt's orientation towards digital transformation, the State Information Services, SIS, as one of the official state institutions in cooperation with MCIT, took the initiative to digitize technologies to renovate the way managing workload effectively, as well as create and introduce new value. This achieves the inspired objective of converting all information, data, and paper information archives into repository and retrievable data, thereby reaching full digital transformation. Attaining this objective, SIS has successfully taken several strides, some of which are related to its main headquarters, HQ, while others are related to its HQ in NAC as follows. Do you see the transformation and the importance of this happening right in front of your face, and you are simply ahead of time? Ladies and gentlemen, moon boots on.
Cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to YouTube University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We saying by the swift, keep it walking. Respect your elders in these bushes. Bitcoin is talking.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain, blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's DLT up in these streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain. Blockchain.